Joes versus Pros annual event sponsored by Prodigy Discs and Team Rubicon Disaster Response. This is the first annual event that we'll be holding where we pit professional disc golfers from around the Northern Virginia area, Southern Maryland area, and place them in competition against veterans and active duty military personnel. We put the pros in different obstacles, or give them different obstacles or different things that they have to do while they play against the Joes to give them an opportunity to beat the pros. This is the first time we've done it, and all proceeds for this event we're going to Team Rubicon. With me today is Matt Hammersten. Matt, how's it going?
It's going. You definitely gave a brutal layout for us to deal with.
Well, what I wanted to do was I obviously wanted to make an opportunity to give the Joes a fighting chance here. And so first pro off the tee is your buddy, Andrew Fish.
Yeah, Andrew Fish, played a lot of rounds with him. This is his first time out to the course, so I think he's definitely looking forward to it. He's heard great things. This is an island green, and Fish just came up a little short. So I decided to follow suit and go even shorter.
So what we did for this hole is based off the Marine Corps and the time back in World War II when they were jumping island to island in the Pacific. And so the pros had to land it within circle one on the island. If not, they were forced to go to the drop zone. Who just threw right now was Justin Lago, and look at that throw.
It looked great out of his hand. When the second he released it, we all knew that it was hunting the basket.
And then this is Jess Jesus. He's throwing.
Little unfortunate, kind of turned it completely over, but he had to ace it.
I guess it doesn't matter because they're not going
to. Yeah, going down that hill definitely is it's a touch shot, especially for more of us novices. And what?
Big putt that does not matter because Justin Lago is right under the basket.
Yeah, I didn't even hear about this putt. That's great. I'm glad Justin got that one. Justin is a great dude. He actually does a lot for the disc golf community. He does a lot of graphic designs. In fact, you've probably seen some of his artwork on multiple discs. I think Calvin Heimberg, a couple other folks. Prodigy uses them for different artwork. So here we are at hole two.
Hole two is a relatively short par four, but it's pretty uphill the entire way. John Bisco did a phenomenal job designing this course, and you're going to see a common theme throughout the course where you have an option to go one way or around a group of trees. So you're going to see the Joes. Yeah, Jesse looks like he's going early of those trees. It's a really open gap right there, but it's a little harder to hit off the tee.
And so what we do here for the pros, and you'll see here shortly, and this is the one that we got the most gripes and complaints from most pros, is they decided they have to do grenades. This hole was based off the Army, and when you think Army, you obviously think grenades. And so what the pros were forced to do was to throw a grenade until they got into circle two. Once they got into circle two, then they were able to putt.
And that was the second grenade I've ever thrown in my life.
And it looked pretty decent.
It hit the gap.
See, and that's
Fish looked phenomenal, and he hit something. I'm asking, how do I throw a grenade right there, by the way?
Yeah, I mean, I think, when you think grenade on the tour, you definitely think Kevin Jones out of Prodigy. He has a pretty good grenade. Most of the pros that I saw when we were going out there, they were struggling. I think, in fact, Fish said, when am I ever going to do this?
Yeah, I have seen Fish threw one grenade in competition where I can remember.
Yeah, and so as you can see, I think as you'll see throughout the first 9-hole matchup, it's we try to level the field as much as possible by taking those unique shots like that and give the Joes a fighting chance.
And that was a phenomenal tee shot. If you can get all the way up there, you're pretty much getting up and down, and you can see Justin and Jesse are gonna make a meal out of this one.
Yeah, there definitely were holes where if the Joes didn't take advantage of it, shame on them because it should have happened. But there you go. You almost drained it.
No, I'm not.
That was a grenade.
Yeah, we were 70 feet away. Just outside to where we had to throw another one.
So we did that one on my round, this round on the front nine. Both Cody Bradshaw and Nick Carl both threw grenades, almost hitting it right into the basket. We did beat Cody Bradshaw and Nick Carl, which is going to be something on my bucket list. That nobody can ever take away from it.
Spoiler, maybe?
No, it's not. So that's why I'm saying it now, because it's not going to be on video, so I have to put it out there in the universe.
Fish and I kind of digging ourselves a little bit of a hole here. This is hole 3. This is another. We have 2 options on how we want to attack the basket. There's an early backhand, and then there's a straight and dumping forehand.
And so Justin loves to use his MVPs, and he's a big. I mean, this one wasn't his best. I'll give him that, but he does like to do the turnover. He's usually pretty smooth on his release and does a pretty good job. That one just got away from him.
And this is another shot. It out of his hand. It looked great, but that's the danger of this hole. That any shot that looks really good off this hole is going to go down that hill and just funnel all the way through.
And at the bottom of the hill, there is a lake, because this is kind of mirrors a golf course. Forest Greens golf course out of Prince William County. So there are, you can see off in the distance at time, an actual golf course that has water hazards, and sometimes they play into effect.
Yeah, and we the pros had to go alternate shot here. Fish is trying to cut the corner a little too tight, and that's kind of the mistake that happens on this hole for us.
Good upshot. You can tell he was trying. He was a good partner. He was definitely trying.
And yeah, Fish and I realized we can't win the hole. We just gave it to them. Digging a very big hole here.
You are nice pros. Our pros that we played every time wouldn't give us the opportunity. They would just keep on going in hopes that we'd miss our 10-foot putts, which, I mean, granted, that's a good excuse.
Well, Justin, Lago, and Jesse were playing phenomenal dubs partner games on the first 3 holes. Fish and I kind of struggling a little. This is another par 4, but it's reachable. It's one of my favorite holes on the course because it's very tight off the tee, kind of land in this spot and then throw another shot.
Yeah, we definitely had a discussion about, is this a par 3 for the pros, or is this par 4? Because you see a couple of the pros were able to get it down to almost basket high. In fact, my partner, Joe, Kevin Ciccone, he actually put it even with the basket off his drive. And he's an 870 or I think 890 rated player. So it's reachable for sure.
Yeah, Justin put themselves in play, so Fish and I are kind of trying to get out of a hole here.
Keep turning, keep going, keep going.
Leaked a little too far right, but that is a green light for Andrew Fish, and let's see what he does. I know he's throwing a force here. And that's smashed.
Yeah, that's great. And so just so you know, we were supposed to have an actual drill. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear about that.
I didn't know he hit that tree. We just knew he was 5 feet from the basket, so he was actually going along with that.
That is amazing. But so as you can see, the pros don't really have an ops hole right here. We were supposed to have an actual drill sergeant come out and yell at them the entire time. That fell through at the last minute. Next year, when we do Joes versus Pros 2, I will definitely have a squad of drill sergeants out there yelling at them.
They gave me a hard time and then was very respectful to Fish, mainly because I think we all had the sense that he was about to do something special.
Yeah.
And he delivered.
So this next hole, hole number 5, we named this one after the newest force in the DoD, which is a Space Force. And so, of course, if you're in space, you got to get that disc high. So you have to take a Tomahawk off the tee pad.
And I have never thrown a Tomahawk.
You've never thrown that. I think that's a staple of my game.
And it shows.
Okay, something.
Well, don't feel bad. The 2 pros are with us. They both on the first Tomahawk hit first trees as well. So.
And that looked incredible. That was just 1 foot to the left.
Yeah, that's the story of my disc golf game.
Lago just pulls it a little, but they might have something from there.
There's something down there. It clears off to the right. If you leave it short and to the left into what we call the iron leaves, the holly bushes, then you're definitely pitching up.
And this is another really well-designed hole from Bisco, where I think a lot of people don't realize it's an understable shot that you have to let get straight, and you don't want it to drift over too much. But Fish and I trying to run this, you gotta backstop because it's going uphill.
And so they had a little bit. They have a couple tiny trees in their way here. If you stay off to the right, you will, but you can find gaps for sure. So Justin takes a neat little run at the basket.
Yeah, they both had decent runs there.
Yeah. I think it's good when you have a solid partner, you can put it a little bit back there and at least one of you are going to make the putt.
Right.
So hole number 6, if anybody's served in the military for a long time, you've heard the phrase, take a knee. And so for this hole, what we decided to do is during any shot on this hole, both pros must throw one shot from the knees minus putting. So you cannot putt from your knees. You can either drive, throw your second shot, or your third shot from your knees.
Right, because putting is way too easy from a knee.
Well, I mean, you can use it to your advantage, whereas this is not going to be your advantage.
So this is another par 4. It's another relatively short one, but it's very important to land relatively near the practice basket. You can see I gave Fish the green light there. He's trying to turn it just a little more, try to get us a little closer, but doesn't quite drift the way he wanted. But both of those are great spots that you want to be in.
Yeah, I saw the best drive I've ever seen on this hole with my partner. He threw an H7, and it just glided down, hit the gap perfectly, and was only about 100 feet from the yellow basket. It was an amazing shot.
H7 is a phenomenal shot disc for this hole. First time these two have really struggled in this match. They've been complementing each other really well so far.
That's a really hard shot because even if you make it through that gap, there's a lot of small trees you have to deal with. And, being a new course, I think, haven't been around the game a long time, but I guarantee you new woods courses have a lot of those little branches that if it's not cleared out yet, and your disc could be flying perfect, and all of a sudden out of nowhere.
So Fish puts it close enough where I should have given that a much better run. But both of us electing to go with our knee shot on the second hole. Shot out. Yeah, they're kind of forced back there. There's a lot of garbage back there. So it looks like, unfortunately, I actually like that they did that because it highlights the premium that John Bisco is putting on landing on specific shots or specific placements on this course.
Absolutely.
So they just kind of hit the teeth on that. This is another par 4, another land in a general spot. There is a back door to this green, but this is the main fairway right here.
So we challenged the pros this time to throw with their offhand.
This was fun.
So the entire hole you had to throw with your offhand, and that includes putting and everything along the way. So it was fun to see. Well, actually, it was kind of sad for me because both pros were probably throwing it better than I was with my normal hand. But hey, to each his own, right?
Fish goes back to his ultimate days and just puts a ridiculous amount of spin on that Comet.
This is where we need Tony.
Oh, and by the way, throughout the entire event, talking was not only authorized, it was highly suggested. And so I'm trying to avoid people talking about that shot. It was pretty nose up.
That's okay. Fish went down there. I decided to go fairway to try to attack it. Just turned over just a touch too much. That's kind of the shape that you want if it was just a little more stable from Justin.
Yeah, and that's the hardness of this hole is the getting to that first gap. That's in fact the entire course. There's a lot of tight gaps right off the tee pad, and so you have to get through there if you want to have any chance of scoring well on this course.
This is possibly the funniest thing because I bet every pro was doing the same thing we were, where we were imagining we were going to be incredible left-handed all of a sudden.
And I think
with like 3 practice pumps.
Yeah, and I was with Nick Carl, and he said it was like he was trying to learn again. It reminded him of the time when he first picked up a disc and was trying to learn. Nose up, wasn't following through. His stance was garbage.
Look at that! Oh, it was almost great. It was almost great.
So as you can see, this hole is tight lines, but also once you think you're almost there, you turn that corner and you still have 150, almost 200 feet into the basket, which is guarded by trees all around it.
Hollies, it's guarded by.
Holly's more to the right. That is true. You can do what I did.
There it is.
Oh, at least I threw it hard.
Well, I mean, I've done that regular-handed, so.
Look at that shot.
Oh, look at that.
That is left-handed, folks. By the way, that is not a gimme. That is 15 feet. That is not a gimme for us because we have to putt left-handed.
Yeah, I think the offhand drops about 10 foot or 10 to 15 feet off your normal putt distance that you're comfortable with.
I don't think we would have been comfortable within 10.
Well, we'll see how it plays out, right? All right, Fish is up. Oh, he didn't even take a second. He just threw it in there.
Yeah, so Fish was lining this shot up and came off it, looked at me, said, "No, you can't think." Walked back up and jammed it in.
Well,
That's kind of the funniest thing.
Hole 8. So, what we did with this hole is, oh, not 8, sorry. Yes, hole 8.
No, this is hole 8.
Yeah, sorry about that. So hole 8, what we decided to do with this one was, and trust me, we got a lot of comments on this one, and we have to change it for next year. But what we said is the opposite team takes that team's best drive. So for instance, if Matt throws right down the pipe like he just did, and it's better than any of the Joes will take their best shot, and then the pros have to take the Joes' best shot.
Right, but don't be a blue falcon.
Yeah, because the whole thing is if you do the entire hole like this, then you keep the other team from just completely throwing it backwards. So it keeps everybody honest to try to do their best shot. There was some math involved with this, at least on my card, and from what I found, disc golfers are not mathematicians, and no, not at all.
No, we are not. Our interpretation of this hole was you switch the tee shot and play it through. So that's what we ended up doing. Yeah. Justin had a really good tee shot. I think I landed in a good spot for the Joes. Yeah, Fish had a phenomenal shot, and that's just me trying to get very greedy.
So would you agree with me? I like to go up, stay on the left side of this hole up the hill, vice to the right side, because I think it's just there's more choke points on the bottom right side, and obviously you're more level with the basket, which helps the distance.
I forget if this is called a par 4 or par 5. It's called a 4 here. There's about 5 bad options off the tee, and the closer you get to the basket, the worse those options become. So I certainly agree where you really want to stay high on the hill, just because it makes those next shots a little less daunting when you're approaching.
Yeah, and I think if you go gold to gold, it's definitely a par 5, although it is a Bisco design, so it may be a par 4.
No, it's par 5 back there.
Okay. Yeah, because the gold's about 150 feet back from the blue tee pads. So, what makes I play on a regular basis with Jess and Justin, and I can know why they're a good team. Both are really stand-up guys. And I know watching this last putt.
Oh, Justin, please hit it.
Yeah, I know it killed him. Look at him. You can see.
I don't think this video will ever do justice on how uphill that hole is. Because I guarantee you they were so winded getting up that hill. I know I was. You get so winded getting up there that it's easy to miss that.
So the pros pulled out a win versus the Joes on this one. But we need you to hope you come back and check us out. We're getting ready to do the second match, and this one will place 2 pro teams against each other. They still have to do the same obstacles, but you'll see Sam Shally there, and you'll see some good shots. So thank you for coming and watching the first round. We hope to see you coming back for the second one.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a goofball card that we will be following along on.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate your time.